For this analysis, I decided to select the Ohio Learning Standards for Mathematics. This curriculum covers grades K through 12. The curriculum acknowledges an advisory committee and working group members as those who develop the curriculum. The working group members are teachers, principals, and curriculum development specialists. As stated in Heidi Jacobs' Mapping the Big Picture, the individuals identified in the development are who should be a part of any curriculum writing group. The Ohio Mathematical Standards were originally adopted in 2010 and revised in 2017. The main purpose is to best prepare students for college by the end of their K through 12 career. The standards are organized by grade level until 8th grade and then by concept in high school. Each grade level includes standards that are broken down into clusters and domains. Each grade level opens up by stating and explaining the areas that should be concentrated on. It is then followed by an overview of topics and lists of mathematical practices. Followed by this are actual standards. Each domain per grade level lists a specific mathematical topic that must be covered. The standards are then presented in a way that flows from part to whole. The information is scaffolded so that the students learn the foundation of each skill first, then build up to more intricate and critical thinking problem solving. Overall, the organization of these standards are very similar to any I've viewed in my state and others. Having prior knowledge of mathematical practices within the Common Core, I can say the Ohio Learning Standards for Math are accurate per grade level. Comparing these to the standards I use daily, they're almost identical. The expectations are realistic for students that are on grade level. In order to implement this, teachers should have the standard K through 6 or K through 8 certifications to teach this curriculum up to grade 6. Teachers for the 7th and 8th grade should obtain the middle school math certification. Those implementing the high school curriculum should have the K through 12 certification with the content concentration of mathematics. Special education teachers should be utilized to modify the content to meet the needs of students below grade level. These identified students should be responsible for the key concept of each mathematical standard with individual accommodations. Each learning content objective directly reflects the corresponding domain. The content promotes using critical thinking, problem solving, and analyzing skills beyond basic computation. These are 21st century abilities addressed in the learning sessions of this course that this generation must be capable of in order to succeed. The content of each grade level builds off of each other. The contents of the Learning Standards for Math are relevant to all learners and provide teachers the opportunity to make real-life applications in the classroom. By using these standards, teachers will use word problems and projects that mimic real-life scenarios involving mathematics, proving to students that they can use the skills every day in real life. On the main website page, there's a sidebar with links to instructional technology strategies and additional curriculum resources. There's also a link for diverse learning. There's a model curriculum provided that was developed in 2018 for each grade level that looks similar to the one we developed in this course. The model curriculum contains a scope and sequence filled with learning activities for each standard. This model curriculum is current and values the interests of learners by incorporating technology and hands-on activities. Assessment is an imperative aspect of the Ohio Learning Standards for Mathematics. The model curriculum demonstrates ongoing assessment throughout each content standard. There is no specific indication of unit or benchmark assessments, but the model curriculum is organized in a way that promotes a formative assessment at the end of each domain, which seems to serve as a unit. Additional assessments should be administered throughout the clusters within the domain to assure student learning. There is information under mathematical assessments that explain the difference between testing and assessment. It's clearly stated in the model curriculum that the state has selected PARCC to serve as the larger assessment piece and develop the curriculum in a way that will prepare students for this test. The Ohio Learning Standards for Mathematics, for the most part, are organized and clear. The actual standards document for grades K through 12 were well done and user-friendly. They remind me of the standards I used for my own instruction in New Jersey. I did feel that it was confusing to locate the instructional resources and assessment suggestions and information. I felt as though the user really had to explore to find these items and could easily miss them. In the future, I feel it would be helpful to organize the curriculum so that when a teacher clicks on a grade level, the standards, model curriculum, and resources are all on one page. As for the content of the learning standards of the Ohio, it is appropriate and relevant. It addresses basic skills, foundational concepts, and higher order problem solving strategies. Each grade level seems to build off of the skills taught in the previous one. While the domains may be the same, the standards and expectations are different as a child progresses through the years. I do not feel there's too much time being spent developing foundational skills. If anything, I feel that we as teachers struggle daily with not having enough time to include more foundational practice in mathematics. And it is imperative that, especially at the younger grades, when K through 6, that the kids really develop their basic facts. Of all the educational theories, Bloom's taxonomy is most apparent within this curriculum. Students are encouraged to evaluate, analyze, apply, and understand. This in turn helps students remember the mathematical concepts. The Ohio Learning Standards for Mathematics include plenty of opportunities for problem solving and higher order thinking. All content is developmentally appropriate for 21st century learners. The state of Ohio emphasizes participation in the PARCC testing, so the curriculum is designed to familiarize students with what will be on that test. Bring principles that are addressed are counting and cardinality, operations and algebraic thinking, numbers and operations in base 10, numbers and operations involving fractions, measurement and data, geometry, expressions and equations, the number system, statistics, and probability. These areas of mathematics are necessary for students to master before high school. High school classes such as algebra, geometry, and statistics are necessary for students to be prepared for college. All areas build off of each other and are connected to the next level expectations. So overall, as an educator who has worked in both inclusion and general education classrooms, I do feel that the Ohio Learning Standards for K through 12 mathematics are well written, organized, and precise. They're organized in a way that is sequenced appropriately and it seems very easy to implement. The content is realistic and imperative for students to master in this generation. There's also a vast amount of information regarding instructional strategies, assessments, and technology integration. It also is relevant to note that these standards are current since they were revised in 2018. I myself would be comfortable using these standards to teach math at any grade level. In my opinion, the Ohio Learning Standards for Mathematics score an A+.